out in the grand finals and surprise their opponents. So Tribe definitely coming in very well prepared and with a very specific plan.
Yeah, and look at his draft for Grace first pick. We have not seen that at all ever. So is this a new composition that Ace is pulling out to counter this Churnwalker? Because you need a dive composition to counter Churnwalker. However, I'm afraid though, with how well Max Green plays Churnwalker, it's kind of risky to hand it over to Tribe.
Interestingly enough, they did ban the Grace last game as well on the second rotation. So Ace Gaming saying their meta is around the Grace, and perhaps they have some sort of a very unique build that they can capitalize with the Grace on.
All right, going to be banning away the Batiste as well. So both that pick and that ban really leaning towards this dive composition. Batiste, fantastic for peeling.
Yeah, the Black Feather is still available. I think you almost need to target that as your ban for Tribe because Black Feather Grace is still incredibly strong and it has all of the dive capabilities that you need going into a Churnwalker. It's one of the few heroes left that fits that build.
Right, but you leave Vox open with Grace, and Vox is the counter to Grace, so he can dance around that Holy Nova stun that she has, and Vox with Grace is very deadly because he can dive in and stay with Grace.
So I think what's going to happen here is if Tribe bans the Black Feather, Ace Gaming will pick up the Vox. If Tribe doesn't ban the Black Feather, Ace will pick up the Black Feather, then flex it into a CP, picking Kestrel last pick against the Vox that Tribe would pick.
Right. I think, yeah, that's very likely how this draft might even pan out. But it is going to be an Arden ban instead. So maybe thinking that it was going to be that Crystal Arden coming out or a Weapon Grace, one of the two. You see CEO showing off a little bit of that regional pride himself as they continue on through this draft.
Or maybe the Arden ban is there because they want to leave it open and leave Vox and Black Feather open along with, so it allows the power picks for Tribe to have two solid picks into Ace Gaming's composition.
Definitely would think for Ace Gaming here, pick up the Black Feather, then save the Kestrel last pick to counter the Vox that you will know for sure will come out from Tribe.
On the other hand, you could take the Kestrel now. We've already seen Ace flex it and then just try and use a counter in your last pick, but they are going to take this Vox. Tribe, they shouldn't be too worried about this Vox, because while yes, Vox does work well with Grace, we've seen Tribe and Dienzio specifically go against the Vox with the Adagio and have incredible success. I want to take us back to yesterday. There's the final game when we saw Dienzio kind of wave his arm and go back to his seat. We thought he was frustrated. I actually talked to him afterwards. He was just saying, I trust our coach, so he said, pick whatever you want and we will win with it.
Yeah, speaking of which, they might play Baron here because Baron, we know, can counter the Vox with that range, especially in the mid-late game phases of the match. However, he is a little suspect and weaker in the early phases against the Vox here.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is the Adagio open power again, though.
Tribe,
Yeah, although Tribe is coming into this game with different strategies than what they have played throughout the competition. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's something completely different. Maybe we'll see the Scarf coming up for Dienzio. Only time will tell, and they only have 30 seconds on the clock.
I wouldn't have expected the Scarf. You don't put a Weapon Black Feather in the jungle right now. And instead, it is going to be a Lorelei as the final pick. The jungle Lorelei to come through for Ace Gaming.
This is really bad news because Adagio doesn't have mobility. Grace can get onto him, put a Holy Nova and stun him. He's not the best in terms of getting dived on, so that could be really risky here for the Tribe.
It's time to get into game 2, gentlemen. I want to hear who your predictions are coming on into this second game. Do Ace have what it takes to even up this series, or are Tribe going to be plowing on forward? Iraqi, we'll start with you.
It's possible, but I do think Tribe will win this one again because they have Max Green on Churnwalker again. They have the CP Black Feather who can invade and shut down the Lorelei, and they have the weapon bar Adagio on Dienzio. So going with Tribe right here.
All right, one for Tribe.
I never voted against Old School on Adagio. Dienzio took down Old School with Adagio, so I'm not going against Dienzio on Adagio either. This is Tribe 2-0.
Last game, I didn't want to do the 3-0 curse, but I think we're fine. We're out of it now. They won the first game, so I think Tribe will take this one because of Max Green's Churnwalker.
All right, we have a full Tribe desk here. The house is going crazy. It's time to get into game number 2 of the Razor 2017 Vainglory World Championship. Let me pass it back over to our casters for game number 2.
Thanks, guys. I can barely hear myself think at this moment. The crowd is on fire. I didn't even know what Munchables just said, I'm not going to lie. But all I heard was it's a 3-man desk voting for Tribe. That was, I mean, after game number 1, it was all the Dienzio show. I'm not too surprised.
I mean, let's start with what Tribe are bringing to the table here. They've got Dienzio's weapon power Adagio. It is a strict Vox counter. The range, you can apply Gift of Fire. It's so, so good.
Going to jump onto the fold. Game number 2 is underway. We'll see if the analysts' predictions are correct this time around. Tribe are over on the blue, Ace Gaming over on the red.
So Tribe have this counter Vox composition. Adagio's range always has been good into Vox, and so we'll have to see how that plays out. Ace love to play a protect a Vox composition, so this is a pure clash of styles here. You have Youngju on the Grace, of course, can provide the Holy Shield for 30% damage reduction, as well as the heal that comes out of it. Pair it with an Echo and you have lots of healing. Tassa's jungle Lorelei has been a thing to watch. And of course, once he pairs his Aftershock with a Clockwork, his Splashdown and Water Wells are going to come out every split second. Ace are going to have so much map control, so much team fight control with the Holy Novas, with the Splashdown. We'll have to see, though, if Dienzio really can live up to this idea of being the best carry in the world and take down Creation when he is basically a juggernaut.
Absolutely. Max Green there zoning out to get the Elder Treant secure for Tribe Gaming. T-Tiger specifically said, I'm not afraid of Ace Gaming, and I'm not afraid of Tassa's CP jungle Lorelei. He actually specifically said he thinks on his CP Blackfeather he can take that matchup and take it well. Me and Dalsey were discussing about how this plays out. Dienzio's got to look to put pressure on Creation in lane. That's how he has beaten these Voxes in lane. It's how he dealt with old school's Vox very early on in the previous semi-final. He's got to continue that pressure.
And the easiest way to do this is for Max Green to be the god that he is and either single out Creation or single out Tassa. Remove Tassa from the Protect the Vox composition and suddenly you just have a Vox.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dienzio targeted
Taking a bit of food. Fish food comes up straight into the Holy Nova. Youngju helps Tassa secure first blood.
And so this is the really cool thing about Ace Gaming's composition here, is not only does it provide Creation so much protection and ability to run around a team fight, the CC control that's coming out of Ace is immense. And considering that Dienzio and T-Tigers are going to be playing at range originally, then diving in towards Creation to get as close as possible and keep the damage up, Tassa's ability to slow them all down originally with Splashdown is going to be really influential, but it also allows Youngju to hit his Holy Novas even better.
Yeah. It synergizes so well together. This is a juggernaut composition. It is designed to put everything shielding onto the Vox. Vox is renowned for kiting. The Splashdown helps that. The Holy Nova helps peel for him. T-Tigers is going to be so influential as this gets towards the mid-game. He has to be there on that Blackfeather, diving with that Rose offensive.
Dienzio might be in a little bit of trouble. Go for that splashdown again. There's the Benediction, and he takes a little bit of damage as Max Green does rotate up to the lane.
This is really good from Ace, although actually Creation has to be super careful. I love how they're putting so much pressure on lane here, Dalsey. They know that the win condition for Tribe is to get Dienzio starting to snowball versus this Vox in lane. Now, if they can look to put pressure on lane and pressure Dienzio out, you're starting to chip away at that win condition.
What's happening is because Ace Gaming are putting priority into the lane, T-Tigers is having a field day in the jungle. He's actually moving in and contesting Tassa's backs as we speak. Not sure he'll be able to find kills. Youngju's going to be pretty good at stopping that, but if he steals jungle camps here, then he takes a 10 CS lead and turns it into more. 10 CS in the jungle is a huge amount of CS. Stealing away that Treant at the back is providing so much experience. He's already got a level up on Tassa here.
There's the splashdown. Oh, Fish Food does go a little bit wide. Holy Nova also misses. Here comes Dienzio. Splashdown to give Creation a little bit of speed up, but Youngju's on the wrong side of everything. Benediction over the wall. Fish Food doesn't quite connect to Max Green, and that's another kill for Tribe.
T-Tigers with the aggression, the fancy feet, the dodging. This guy is talked about as being the best jungler in the world for a reason, Dalsey. And that early aggression against Lorelei before she starts to scale up with those items, especially once she's already used her A and her stun.
Yeah, T-Tigers is level 6, Tassa is level 4. Mission accomplished, T-Tigers has won the jungle here, and Tribe can continue playing around T-Tigers like they do so well here. If T-Tigers is putting pressure onto Tassa, it's allowing Dienzio to scale up here, it's allowing him to free from in the lane,
Creation does have a bit of a CS lead, but Max Green holding the wave here is basically going to turn that into nil in just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And also because they have now put pressure on T-Tigers, we talked about him being a key influential force in these team fights in the mid game. You saw it in that particular engage. It also means all the pressure that Ace have put into the lane is kind of for naught now. They were looking to get Dienzio behind. Dienzio isn't behind. They've actually managed to snowball off T-Tigers. So attempting to foil that win condition from Tribe has kind of been thwarted by all of that jungle pressure.
And Tribe have had so much experience throughout this World Championship at dealing with a Lorelei. They went up against G2 earlier on. They were able to shut down Kiana Nakoa on that. Gabe Vizzle tried his best, but again, it was Tribe Gaming coming out on top. TaSa's Lorelei is something to fear, but Tribe have such a good track record against this hero.
Yeah, not only that, if you look at the other captain on the other side, Max Green, this rookie that's come up through challenges, through the VG8, and now in the World Finals, was such a force to be reckoned with in game number 1. Multi-man stuns, Echo picked up so early on, and his aggression with T-Tigers as well in the jungle. And T-Tigers, look how aggressive he's going. He's picked up his Aftershock, he wants to fight, but nice two-man fish food, wait for it to come out as well. Bursty Judgment does land, Creation takes a little bit of damage, but he's just focusing Max Green right now. Youngju ends up falling over the wall, Dienzio gets the snipe.
We are 6 minutes into the game, and Youngju has only just finished his fountain. Youngju prioritizes vision, and he prioritizes minion candies. Perhaps in the early game, it's a little bit too much.
This is really important because Tribe are known for seeking early game aggression. They are known for fighting between 4 and 6 minutes and pushing their advantages. Maybe you need to think that vision is less important. I know it's important to keep track of T-Tigers, but if you don't have a fountain, by the time that they search for a fight, you're at a serious disadvantage. It is one of the single most devastating disadvantages that you could have when entering a teamfight situation.
The thing about Youngju's vision control here is, of course, that if Ace Gaming are able to get ahead, it allows them to play what we've seen just become this very stereotypical East Asian style, calculated aggression, map control, rotational ability. And there's so much vision down on the map by TaSa already, but Tribe, they're so far ahead at this point that what is this vision actually doing for you? It's really not providing much, but a way for Ace to potentially avoid fights. And when they do avoid fights, then Tribe are just going to move and take turrets. They're going to take the gold miner. They're going to take the crystal sentry as well. And Ace are going to fall further and further behind.
You hit the point really well there, Darcy. There is no point having vision if you're not going to do anything with it. It's a way to try and stop these invades, but if you're not going to be able to combat these invades...
T-Tigers pops the boots actually to chase after TaSa, a wall to wall, and a fish food ends up landing. Also, there's the Holy Nova to Sunamar. Max Green over the wall, Rose offensive to get T-Tigers out of danger. All the meanwhile, Dienzio is just pushing this turret and manages to take it down as well. But Ace aren't quite done just yet. Fish food, benediction. Doesn't quite connect either. Wait for it. Came out a little bit preemptively. TaSa Creation couldn't do anything to stop that turret going down. Yeah,
it was just a good exit. Blackfeather is so sublime at getting out of situations that are particularly scary. That Rose offensive was pretty much colloquially named Rose defensive for a very long time because it was a way of escaping tough situations like that. Darcy, I want to explore this build from TaSa. It is a little bit unique. I know it is TaSa, but it is an Aftershock Lorelei. An Aftershock Lorelei. I understand the cooldown reduction part. Is there some sort of basic attack focus part because he knows that he's unlikely to be playing at range the whole time?
Exactly. Often, especially in Europe and North America, we see Lorelei prioritize an alternating current because she's going to be threading auto attacks in between her abilities. Splashdown allows her to get in range, but stay out of range at the same time. Over in Korea, over in East Asia, they realize that they want to be playing around the auto attack, but the splashdown and the fish food, the water well as well, provide so much ability to control team fights. Fish food off cooldown every 4 seconds, splashdown 5 seconds once you have that clockwork, and your water walls coming off cooldown every 11 or so seconds. And so it allows Ace Gaming to play a very sustained team fight, which is exactly what a Grace and Vox want to do.
Exactly, and it also plays into the hyper carry Vox. This is a semi-supportive build from TaSa. It's looking to have maximum cooldown reduction as we get a fight.
Look at this, how Dienzio is going so aggressive. TaSa had to use the water wall on himself, but he's just going to run him down. Dienzio finds his second kill of the game. Away from it all, signs him. A massive divine intervention to keep him alive. Bursted Judgment's not going to quite find anything. Creation does escape with his life for the time being.
I love this Adagio switch from crystal power to weapon power. Before, back in the day, Adagio was considered such a great counter into Vox because Crystal Power Adagio could outrange and out-sustain the Vox. Then 2.0 Vainglory came along and Poison Shiv was introduced to the mix. And Poison Shiv basically turned that matchup on its head. All of a sudden, Vox could run down a Crystal Power Adagio, and that counter was completely reversed. But then we see this rise of a weapon-powered Adagio come through. Originally crit, but then the sustained meta hit not too long ago, and you see it come to be a bit more of a sustained build. Poison Shiv into a breaking point, follow it up with a Sorrow Blade, allows you to be in a team fight for very long, stack up that breaking point, and continue to dominate Vox.
So, let's have a look at what we've got going on here on the side of Tribe. Dienzio's picked up his own reflex block, negotiating the CC coming down here from Ace Gaming is going to be so important. You've got to get through Holy Nova. You've got to get through Splashdown. You've even got to get through the silence if it's thrown at you as well. So having your own reflex block alongside that Crucible from Max Green is going to be so important. Dalcy, the question I have Tribe done enough here? Because you're still seeing the Vox scale up moderately well. Have they done enough?
Nice fish food onto T-Tiger. Isn't going to interrupt you there, Xander, for a second. Ace Gaming do manage to clear the wave. Well, down to about 3rd HP, though. That tier 2 turret isn't looking too healthy. And already T-Tigers and Max Green Dienzio, they're all clearing out that front camps as well. This is the problem for Ace. They've been struggling in the groups. Pain Gaming took them to 5 games, a series that everybody called would be an Ace victory, but an Ace victory after 5 games, I don't think anybody could have predicted that.
Absolutely not. And Dalcy, I was going to follow up that question. Have Ace done enough here to turtle? Because the getting to the late game is the priority for them. This is, for everyone at home that doesn't quite really understand this composition to its T, it is a late game, hyper protect, a very mobile carry composition. We've got a fight breaking out.
Nice double fish food onto Dienzio and Max Green. Max Green gets the double hook, pulls one back in. There's the big stun, but he doesn't quite land as the Crucible gets popped. Same Crucible on side of Tribe as well. Stops the Holy Nova from going off, but look at the marching force of this Vox. Creation, the hyper carry fish food doesn't land, but he's just chasing Dienzio. Dienzio's still alive somehow. What? Poison Shiv saving his life. The sustain he got from the build was too much, and that'll be Ace losing a member.
And this is very much a difference between the East Asian and North America's style. North America loves its offense. East Asia goes towards a bit more of a defensive priority. There was a Sorrow Blade for Dienzio. Creation does not have the goal to finish his yet because he's prioritized more towards the defensive route. And Tribe have a 6,000 gold lead as well.
So Weapon Power Adagio spikes early here. He spikes at this point. This is where he's going to be the most powerful in the game. He doesn't have the mobility of the Vox. You see here with this Ace Gaming composition how tanky that Vox was in that last fight. That's only going to get worse for Ace.
Yeah, one thing to remember is that T-Tigers here has gone towards a Atlas Pauldron very early.
Yeah.
Hasn't even gone his second offensive item yet, just sitting on an Aftershock and a Heavy Prism. He's going to convert that into a Broken Myth or a Dragon's Eye second, and once he has that, there's going to be a lot more damage for Tribe to output here. They can really look to pierce through the shielding and the healing coming from Ace. So Tribe haven't really hit towards their full damage yet, despite the fact that Dienzio has hit his full damage output.
Big item completions from T-Tigers. Look, Atlas Pauldron's prioritization from him. Second completed tier 3 item.
I want to talk about the Aftershock specifically because it's something that we've only started to see come out on Blackfeather recently for the CP build paths. And it tells you a different style of Blackfeather play. Blackfeather categorically used to have a Shatterglass into a Broken Myth. He'd play a ranged game with his on-point post level 8. Now with the Aftershock build, this allows T-Tigers to be more aggressive and dive in.
Oh, Creation just gets dragged straight back in. There's the Water Wall to keep him alive. Fish Food doesn't quite hit T-Tigers, but he's just tanking up at the front line. Meanwhile, Dienzio from the back is doing all the damage. Tassa receives a massive divine intervention, a splashdown to heal them all up, but Creation is nowhere to be found in this fight because he's just not tanky enough. Ends up falling as well. Youngju ends up biting the dust, and Ace will lose one more.
It was a great engage from Max Green, but what I really want to point out about that fight was how Dienzio did exactly what Dalcy said would be a good win condition and forced the Lorelei out straight away. That forced a divine intervention.
Is going back in. Creation's very low. T-Tigers just biting the bullet there, ended up backing off.
And it forced one of those really crucial divine interventions meant for Vox onto Tassa, and that allowed them then to take out and snowball that fight.
Tassa hasn't quite hit a tanky stage yet that he needs to. He's going towards that now. Coated plates, light shielding. but it's not really doing much against Dienzio or T-Tigers at this point. T-Tigers has just finished his Dragon's Eye as well, which means as this team fight goes on, not only is Dienzio stacking up his breaking point very quickly, might I add, T-Tigers will also have a Dragon's Eye as well. Now Max Green has a War Treads for himself. He's going to be able to get T-Tigers into the team fight as well as Dienzio, and Ace are going to be constantly on the back foot.
And it's so important to have those War Treads specifically for that reason, but also because of the mobility that a late game Vox is going to have with the splashdowns, the water walls, and everything else protecting him. You need that extra burst of movement speed.
Creation has just finished his Sorrow Blade here. Vox has finally scaled up to the point where perhaps Ace Gaming can protect him enough that he can take out Dienzio. But the Kraken, she's just spawned onto the Halcyon Fold here. And Ace, you can see, are playing very far back here, not allowing Tribe to engage upon them just yet. Youngju hasn't completed his Echo yet. He's going towards War Treads of his own so he can match the disengage that Max Green wants to bring.
No matter what happens, Dienzio is always ahead as well. Almost 40 CS above Creation. Make that 30, I can't seem to count. Creation, 150 to 181 of Dienzio. This is just playing into Tribe's win condition here. Ace Gaming put a lot of priority up in that lane. It was the 3-man roves time and time again to try and take him out, but you can't do that when Max Green is just sitting on top of him. Kraken is going to get started up as well.
Absolutely, they're going to start this Kraken up. They know they can force Ace to come towards them while they have these item spikes. Dienzio has got the Journey Boots, which is going to allow him to chase down Creation or that Lorelei. This is a big move from Tribe. They're going to look to push and bring Ace into an uncomfortable position.
And it's very difficult for Ace to even get in here when they are split like this.
There's the wait for it, does silence one. Holy Nova onto Dienzio, but he's already soloing Tassa. Now they're all split up. Creation in a lot of trouble. Harry's doing a lot of damage to T-Tigers. 11 breaking point stacks, a lot more than Dienzio has. He has to kite back right now, applying that gift of fire. Creation with the water wall on top of him provides him a massive shield. A divine intervention, keeping the tank Vox alive. There's the big stun, but it's going to not hit. What happened? Creation ended up falling. Dienzio turned the fight completely around.
And this is that Dragon's Eye. T-Tigers is starting to scale into a damage threat of his own, and Creation doesn't have shielding because he's had to prioritize the armor against Dienzio's weapon power Dargio. Right now, T-Tigers is having so much influence, and it's basically going unnoticed.
Dienzio's going in.
Used this boost to go straight in. There's the Holy Nova straight into the fish food. Maybe bit off a little bit more than he can chew. He did. Tassa finds the kill, activates the water wall as well. He's chasing T-Tigers. Max Green is around the corner, but he should be able to get away.
Dienzio's down now with 3 seconds up till Creation. They could rotate onto the Kraken. T-Tigers.
T-Tigers still going in. Rose offensive and gets the kill in a 2v1. Youngju just could not burst him down quick enough, and Tassa didn't even have water wall up.
All right, we can reset here because
we needed a reset.
Tribe getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves there. Dienzio perhaps having a little bit too much fun on this world stage here. Felt like he could make a hero play. If he got the ace, then Tribe, not only would have they got Kraken, they could have pushed down the lane, taken out that choke point, and with only 2 Vein Crystal turrets to go, that could have been another game in the bag. But the turnaround comes through, a little bit of disrespect here, and Ace are going to continue to be able to scale. Creation now has his armor here, the metal jacket to be able to withstand Dienzio's damage.
Yeah, and what's really important to note now is also that this is a point in the game where Ace have categorically been better than most teams. Late game team fighting and decision making has been their forte. Backdoor attempts, really crucial decisions that have been made, especially in their Impunity series. That is exactly what they excelled at.
Fusions will come through here. Ace want to contest this Kraken.
Jane doesn't quite land from Max Green. Splashdowns all over the place as well to speed the rest of Ace up. They're Kraken about half HP. Nice fist food onto Max Green, but they are going to go for the engage. Dienzio on the back line. Max Green, can he engage? However, because he is so low, War Treads anyway. Fish food ends up missing. Massive burst damage landing onto Creation. The tank Vox has fallen. Can they turn it around? A double knockout comes through. They take out Max Green, but is it enough? No, it's not. T-Tigers dashes straight in, and with the Dienzio's help, finishes him off. Youngju is going to fall as well, and Tribe with the ace.
And we still have no shielding coming through for Creation. This tank Vox Juggernaut composition does not work if Creation cannot withstand the damage coming out of T-Tigers.
Let's take a look at this again. Creation very far up here. He gets super aggressive because he is that Juggernaut Vox. He thinks he can survive. But look at T-Tigers. Every second he's in a fight is another Dragon's Eye stack that he's building. And like you said, with no shielding, he tore apart Vox. You can't protect against that much damage. And we talked about how important T-Tigers was going to be in these late game team fights. He is tearing Ace apart.
Doesn't look like Ace are going to be able to get to the late game where their composition thrives against Tribe. Youngju is only now just starting up an Echo, a cooldown that would have been able to allow Creation to withstand so much damage in a team fight, would have supplemented the lack of Aegis for so long, but we have it now here.
And it's really important for a Grace to have an Echo. It's categorically what makes her one of the strongest captains in the game. Here goes Tribe's attempt to push onto this turret.
Yeah, turret's going to easily fall. One swing of the Kraken's arms. It goes down. It's fairly weak, though, as Creation is managing to chunk it out. About 2/3 HP already. T-Tigers gets clammed up as well. Nice water wall actually onto Creation to keep him alive. He's going to march forward, Divine Intervention to heal him up. Also, there's T-Tigers caught up in the Fish Food. Uses the Rose defensive Max Green with the War Tres pop, but Dienzio's all alone. A Fish Food to land the stun. Big stun as well from Max Green's going to get blocked by the Crucible. Creation's turning this one around. Another water wall to keep him alive. Another kill. 2-piece for Creation. Max Green is going to fall as well. Make that a triple kill, but the Kraken is still chewing up their base.
And Tassa has been so good with the placements of his stuns. Every time before the fight breaks out, he's catching 1 or 2 members of Tribe out. Let's take a look at that replay, Darcy.
So much splashdown control coming out of Tassa here, and you can see that a split up Tribe. Once T-Tigers is gone, they can focus down Dienzio. Fantastic block coming out of Youngju here. He was the unknown factor for Ace. They dominated the summer and the autumn Vainglory 8 in East Asia with Scar Shield. One of the best captains in the world, and Ace Gaming fans were very worried how Youngju would be able to fit into this roster.
Tassa got 2 water walls down that fight without an Echo. That is how much cooldown reduction he's running with right now. That is how it plays into this hyper carry Vox composition. And now the Echo has been completed for Youngju. Now one of the extra elements of this protective Vox composition has come online. Dienzio has subbed out his armor. He's gone for a Bonesaw. That's an all-in from him. They are looking to win this next fight.
Max Green's a little bit caught out. Torment onto 2. There's the stun. However, Crucible is used from Ace. They're still going to chase. Youngju going fairly low, but a nicely paced Fish Through from Tassa will stop Dienzio's advances, and a splashdown should get them out to safety.
Yeah, the Echo was used there by Max Green, but a Fish Food has caught him up. They may still look for a re-engage. There's no Crucible available for Youngju.
Creation goes in. Divine Intervention to heal him up. There's the water wall as well. Another big stun from Max Green's going to get blocked. Water wall again. Divine Intervention keeps him alive. He is so tanky. T-Tigers ends up falling. Double Holy Nova, but Creation's too low to carry on this fight. He's going to go straight back in. However, Dienzio cleans up one, but they end up trading. Now Creation, last member alive is Max Green, and he's easily going to dispatch him. Back-to-back ace, back-to-back triple kill, and Creation and Tassa are heading straight for the Kraken.
Tribe left this far too long. This is late game hyper carry Vox. He is so mobile, so well protected, and he's got every item that he needs to be online right now. That double Divine Intervention was team fight and game saving for Ace.
There's going to be a turret push down here by the minions. There it goes, and the Kraken, she's going to be unleashed as well. Ace, 23 minutes into the game, have weathered a massive storm coming out of Tribe. T-Tigers' early aggression was so detrimental to Tassa's ability to scale up into the late game, but we're here now, Scoundrel.
I want to talk about the way Creation approaches these team fights. He has very easily triggered that T-Tigers is the problem for him. He goes in onto T-Tigers before T-Tigers has the ability to build Dragon's Eye stacks, and he takes him out of the fight straight away, knowing full well he has the protection of the Water Wall and the Divine Intervention. It is such clever, tempered aggression play from Creation.
We speak about that as a broken myth has just been finished for T-Tigers. More Pierce onto Creation, maybe now T-Tigers can take down the Juggernaut.
Dienzio playing front line, gets sent to about half HP. Ace did pop the War Treads as well. It's going to enable the Kraken to push through and break open the base. 2 turrets stand in their way now, but only 1 for Tribe. They're going to leave the Kraken there. They're going to heal up, go back to base, clear out some of Tribe's jungle. And that's going to be it. 24 minutes into the game. 2 Krakens have been on the board. This game couldn't be any closer.
And you have to respect Ace's control over their mentality here, not desperately trying to push into the base and end the game now. It is so often we see teams on the back foot finally get a leg up and then throw it all away in such a crucial moment. Ace Gaming just never will do this. They will back off, take the low percentage play, and look to finish the game at the end of the day.
Yeah, and like you said, they had a timer on their composition. They needed to get to this point with the Echo on the Grace. They needed to get to this full Lorelei build that she was durable enough to stay alive. And now, I think Tribe are having an issue on knowing who to focus. Dienzio's trying to build up Bone Saw stacks on Grace, and it's just not working.
Dienzio's farm is incredible, and you may wonder why he's continued to keep up roughly 10 CS a minute. Well, it's because he's ever-changing his build, selling out his Aegis now to pick up a metal jacket so he can survive creation, knowing full well he's the juggernaut. And really, when we look over towards the side of Ace, there is only one Atlas Pauldron. That's the only thing that Dienzio would want a reflex block for. Make sure he doesn't get attack speed slowed. Youngju may go in for it, but Max Green can provide a crucible to stop it coming through.
Wait, Ace are on the wrong side here. What's going on? Is this a backdoor attempt? Is this a base race? Is this going to be it?
Dienzio's going to use his boots in. T-Tigers is there as well. Creation is that's out to get back. But Max Green, the rookie, hooks him in. He pulls him in as well. Tribe, they're going to get the backdoor. Dienzio puts up the flare, and T-Tigers will end game number 2. Tribe 2-0 up against Ace Gaming.
Tribe take a page out of Ace Gaming's book yesterday. A double backdoor. 1-2 games here for Ace in their semi-finals against Impunity when Ace knew that they could not